No, I saw what you guys I have an idea. I don't know if I want to mention it, but I have like no, I have everything written out. I just if people are interested in kind of being no, if I pitch this idea, I won't read it because I don't think people are qualified. As far as the outline goes, as far as because you're gonna have people with like a basic understanding of the idea. They're not going to have done hours of research to understand it. They're not going to understand how to work with companies.
Pardon bien.
Learning how to work with that. I'm working with another group
Okay, you want to start? Cool. Let's go. So we're now, there's a strong live stream as well if you prefer to watch it on your phone. I just need to remember to switch the slides in both machines and prepare the notes, and I don't have presenter mode. Do a switch in between to make sure I covered everything. It's okay? Cool. So I'm Shai, I'm from the Bronica Entrepreneurship Center. I've met or talked to all of you. And hopefully by Wednesday noon, I'll remember everybody's names. For the next session, you'll have name tags, so it will be easier for you guys as well. So as I mentioned during the brief interviews, this session is most of all to go over the workshop, what you can expect, the list of mentors and who's coming, and try to get what from. And then after we finish, we'll do action between everybody here. We'll have some time to stay and just mingle a bit, and then I'll have to leave. Do the same. So cool. 3DS. This is the 8th time it's been running in the Technion. There are two types of formats, which is the more general one, and there's another one being done in the medicine school, is heavily catered towards medical solutions. Okay, the main difference between the two at the end of the day is the mentors hospital that you have over there. I'll touch on that in a second. So first, not appearing on blah blah blah. Oh, wait. Cliff is giving me trouble with the so just a second. This is the problem with the Google products. I'm streaming it with the Hangouts. But exactly. To hold the conversation of what's better, Microsoft fanboy. Okay. First of all, the Bronica Entrepreneurship Center. Most of you have been there. A couple of notes. Most of the information you can go online and read in Hebrew. Those who don't speak Hebrew, or come to visit the office. Two services that I want to, or is familiar. Who knows BizTech? Nice, excellent. So BizTech is a year-long competition and business competition, and the idea and the challenge for this 3DS will be to see how you manage to not fall apart until BizTech 2017. That was the challenge with the first 3DS we ran back in June 2013. The second service that you're entitled to is the consultation services given by the Entrepreneurship Center. Basically, it's a lifetime service. Now that you're branded Technion, you're entitled to take it wherever, whenever you want. What it means is that if you are in the founding team of a startup, you can come knock on our door and we'll be the best we can to help you succeed, and then ride on your success story. But what we do is we help with the business definition, making sure that you're not you'll go through the process in 3DS, and then you'll understand what kind of you may be doing. And also we connect to industry figures, is making headway nicely. Cliff is not able to join the stream for some reason. Not working. You can check this. No problem. So BizTech either הוא ב-SMSים שלי, שלחתי להם את החליט שזה לא עובד לו.
מה שאני עושה שוב?
בבקשה. Okay. So what's 3-Day Startup? A bit of background. 3-Day Startup is an organization that was founded in Austin, Texas, for students, and the idea was to bring the entrepreneurship to the campus and let the students interact with the different disciplines. Anything, because everybody knows the students are broke, and allow them to actually have a platform that might enable them to do something in case they find, in case of the stuff. And to date, it's been running in all of the continents, 80 locations, and there, I don't remember the numbers by heart because they're not relevant to Israel yet. Startups that have come out of 3DS, mostly in the US, have raised funds. And in Israel, I'm hopeful that by the time we'll run this weekend the workshop, we'll have the first product actually in 3DS and raise money, and that will be a really nice story. Everybody's right now the number is 0, and it's your fault. It's your room to make it happen. A bit about the timeline. The timeline is going to be Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. I'll give you the rough one, and then I'll go 9 a.m. And then Wednesday, I assume we'll work until around 11 p.m., 12. On your team, on your energy, whatever. There's no, like, if you'll go at 8 p.m., what you'll receive is a very, very annoyed face from me. And it will be true, I will be annoyed. It's up to you whether you're gonna the most out of this framework or not. I can't, if you wanna do something to do it, it's not up to me. Again, I'll give my best and all the energy I can give in order to support you. Then you can fuck it up on your own. So expect, depending on your team, to leave around midnight. And then we're starting at AM, which means between 8 and 8 the room. And the reason for that is pretty simple, except for I invite, we'll go over to 9 a.m. for me, it doesn't make sense that somebody who comes and volunteers and gives you time here from Tel Aviv by 9 a.m. and any participant not get there by that time doesn't make sense to me. I hope it doesn't make sense to you and that you'll be on time Thursday. You can expect, I'll go over the logistics later about timeline. Thursday, very, very long day. There finish about 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna stick around almost all. And you know, if you want, you can work the night out. It's up to you. Friday, everybody to be by 9 a.m. Usually it's tougher time. And then Friday we're gonna finish by, it depends on the number of teams that we're gonna have. The presentations at 12 p.m. Noon. And then back, and we're gonna be happy and go home. So we need to be back on time. Okay, so the specifics. Wednesday morning we're gonna come. Once we assemble, don't be late on Wednesday. I'll start 30. I'm gonna start. So hopefully the fact that I said no later than 9:30, but I will wait a bit. Why you should be on time? What we do is we start doing the pitching of the ideas. So later we'll see who has an idea, who which he'd like to or she'd like to pitch. It's time pitching. That's been done back to back. Usually we have about 20 to 25 ideas, which means that it's going to take about an hour. The reason why I cut very brutally the people off is that this is part of real life, and it's part of the training that I expect you and the learning that you're going to get from this platform. And so in real life, when you do an elevator speech, which is shorter than 2 minutes, once you lose the attention of the person, you're not going to get it back, and no timer is going to help you. So I'm going to cut you off, and it's part of the thing that you're going to see in the 20 to 25 minutes. You're going to see people who pitch naturally very well, not be very well naturally in a good manner. There will be those who were very well prepared and will be able to deliver their message in a very good way. Guys, to listen and to see which works best to take away for the future. And then, of course, you'll see for the girls who get stuck and who do not present well, and it will be very obvious for the presenter. It's part of life. It's better to scratch up one when it's real life. So with the pitching, what I'm gonna do is while you pitch, I'm gonna enter the ideas names to a Google Doc. Not skew too much the description and what I write. Understand. So if it's not correct, it's your fault. But I do try to be accurate. Everybody needs to be with either a smartphone or a computer, and I'll send a link. I'll give the voting system on Wednesday because I still need to figure out how to the fact that there are teams here. The idea is not to win the team. It's mostly to get the sense of the crowd. In many cases, feel like you're gonna beat the system. Don't feel bad every time I get that and people beat me. So I need to think how to do that.
Do you have to give the pitch in English or?
It's in English. How many people don't speak Hebrew here? Excellent, and more hope now.
Wednesday to study.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fine, but remember again, if If you want to do a startup that is going to be global, then you're going to have to talk in English at some point in life. This is, again, a good time to start. And then once you vote, I go. It takes about 15 minutes or so. I aggregate the scores on what seems to me the best number of teams. Okay, these were the 8 highest ranked ideas. And then we start working. Each person whose idea was selected comes to the stage, gives another reminder of what the idea was about, and says people he's looking for or she's looking for, the head of the team. And you go start working. Meaning you start researching the internet at first. No, so I said that the voting system I'll give on Wednesday.
Okay.
It's going to be confusing on Wednesday, so it's a waste of time to confuse now. It's like a 3 voting. And then you start working. Again, throughout the 3 days, sometimes you're going to feel on what. During those times, please come and ask me what you're supposed to do. I do. In any case, I also stop and ask everybody if everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing at that moment in time. Guide specific teams accordingly. General timeline is to verify the idea very roughly. The Google research, if it's a very technological solution, then obviously basic pattern search, and you do between now and Wednesday in any case. A very rough assessment of market, whether there's a need, how many solutions are that it's basically very easy to do it now, but you do it as a group. And then, so there's the market research, and then you're gonna have to start splitting them. Basically, it's 2.5 days, it's not 3, of assessment, competition, solution, plus minus, which comes hand in hand with talking to customers or partners, or that is one essential part 3DS is going out of the building and talking to people. You need to go out and talk to people. If you're a consumer-facing app or something or product, it's really easy. You have tons of students here. It will not be the best sample, but it will force you to talk about it and get in the experience. To be a big adventure, then myself and the mentors will hook you up with people to talk to, and also you have a nice network here within this room. That will be part of the research. Any questions for that? Wait, get there. Okay, so, and regarding in the timeline, there are 3 mentors slots, Thursday morning and Thursday evening, and then there is the panel, obviously. So Wednesday, you have a very limited time to work before people start coming and confuse you. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., you're going to have a session, and then same goes 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. By the end of these mentoring sessions, you're going to be fed up with other people's opinions and say thank you very much for feeling torture. But this is part of the experience of a real. So if you take an idea and you'll go to talk to anybody, any professional, a different opinion from almost any professional, and as the entrepreneur, to assess what you think part to take away and implement. If somebody tells you this is not can be about it and move on, it's valid feedback. You need to think back decide whether you agree with the person. If not, take the whatever reasoning they gave to you and see how you can contradict or or shift or bypass that or whatever. Sure that you're gonna talk to throughout this probably more, and then more for opinions. So be aware of that and beware of that and stay strong. It's an exhausting experience. So a couple of notes about expectations. Later I'll go through my notes to see if I missed something. Any questions so far about timeline or whatnot? Perfect. So some expectations. In this slide, in the first, this 3DS is less optimized for medical solutions. And I told friends, having said that, still the startup that I said that hopefully is going to close the term sheet and raise money is a medical startup, the exact framework, after I said to them that they have no place, nothing to look for in a 3DS such as this. So it is, first of all, with a different background, I don't know the full background of each and every one of them. Many of them dual devices. And the second thing is that this is 3 days startup, so you can still do a lot of work on different aspects of the startup and not touch the FDA process, for example, the regulatory process for medical, other aspects, but talk to the medical doctors or to the patients and do a lot of the things that the regular startup. So this platform is not supposed to cater anybody who wants to open a Pizza Hut chain. Nice business once you go to that scale. We focus on technological in many cases with the Technion community, Israeli community in general, when you show something, especially if it's a social app or something like that, most of the many questions will be what are the barriers to entry technology like that. So it's there. There's nothing to do with that. But into is that it's 2.5, 3 days, but you don't need to limit yourself to the time constraint in order to pursue and in this 3-day startup, the expectation is for you to deliver a presentation for investors. Okay. What you need to do, a feasibility checklist. Means is that you need to say, believe it, that the team can actually deliver things the team can deliver on the promise. And that's the basic. Okay, if the team decides to take it another step forward, you can build a prototype, a demo, whatever you want. Is to do a feasibility study, so you can at least answer some questions in that regard to the panel in case those arise. I do hope and urge you to the 2.5 days of the and think big. Bring up. So what does think big, for example, means? In June 2013, one of the teams I quite nicely that nothing came out of. They wanted to solve the cable tearing, underwater cable tearing problem there is in the world. Fishing boats drag the nets, the fishing nets. The internet cables in many occasions. And it happened from 2000. There was an outage net for obviously you cannot solve that problem within 3 days. Came up with a nice solution as a proposal, and that's just one example. I can give you additional others to think about. Let me see if I missed any comments. Show comments. Where's the comments? Okay. Oh, it's the best. Okay, I think this is what I just said with for the pitching. Later I'll do it so I didn't miss anything. This is a picture of the first.
Of the medicine.
The what? No, this is not the medicine one. The medicine one, this is the January 2014. This is the room where it's going to be held. Mayor, anybody doesn't know where Mayor building is? You can do Google search of להנדסת חשמל. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 minutes to pitch. The basic idea is, first of all, bring facts as to whatever you talk about. For example, tons of people, for some reason, want to solve the problem of finding a parking spot in the city. Spots, not the garages. For just in this sentence, I just made it clear what I'm talking about. Okay, instead of saying I want to solve the problem of people finding parking spots, in a second I can make it more what I'm aiming at, which is I want to help people find open parking spots in the open streets in big metropolitan areas. But it's like an empty whatnot, this statement. I think I want to say, I want to state the exact your look, which will set the basis for you to come up with the solution that you want to target. So, for example, you can say, on average, people in the metropolitan areas are looking for a parking spot for 20 minutes, 20 long minutes, which means there's within the cities, and I want to reduce both the time wasted and the excess there, which kills X amount of people yearly in the city. What I want to do is of doing it within this sentence is a big problem. You don't really numbers for their market size. Clear to, I think, to everybody that if you see a big area, the parking spots, you're going to be making a huge impact. 3DS, and the numbers of how much is the impact. Within 2 minutes, the best would be, again, it's individual. You can decide maybe what you want to do, but within 2 minutes, it would be very nice this problem to understand the market you're trying to address. And 2 minutes, you can also give a broad description of a solution you're thinking of. I would, if you come from a relevant background to solve the problem, that would be more interesting at that point. So why is the solution not that important at this stage? I'll give you a quote of a partner in a VC, on that quote specifically, but basically in a venture, you have the team, you have the market, the team, you have the problem, you have the solution, opportunity, market size. Okay, so market change, you can change the team and you can change the solution. Focus on the market size and the problem, and then Everything else is less. So don't put too much emphasis on that. Send you later a couple. The presentation itself, it has more tips than what I just covered. What I missed. So what I usually ask people, you can do it in a dry way, like I'm doing it now, of just giving a bucket list of things to cover. And you can obviously give it through a personal story, which is more interesting for sure. And if you don't have the personal story to relate to, you can always use like a imaginary describe the situation, but you need to always make the connection to the bigger opportunity out there. So for example, if Maggie from Simpsons, Maggie is a small child who likes to suck a pacifier. Maggie, there are 1 trillion babies out there, so we think that it's going to be whatever. Was that clear enough?
Yeah.
Any questions about the pitching?
Are we allowed to change the initial
Okay, so for some, you're very nerdy audience. For some reason, everybody asked me allowed to send me the idea something. So I don't know if you noticed, I didn't ask anybody to send me anything. On a PowerPoint, you can present the 2 minutes without the PowerPoint. It's your choosing. What I ask you to do is the start of the session or send me the email. I'll download everything, prepare it on one computer, so we won't handle the switching too much. Basically, decide on the spot whether you want to present an idea or not.
Can I change the idea initially on the subscription?
Yeah, you can do whatever.
No, she's meaning like after the first day, after all the we're stuck with those ideas.
You're not stuck with anything because this is a natural process. If you get into a brick wall and you have to change an idea, then the group needs to make a decision as a group, and you need to do
Feel like water.
it. Yes, maybe. But it's perfectly fine. Again, this is a framework, so it will not be chaotic, and so it will help you focus on start working. Conclusion that you need to change, then it's a conclusion that had to be done apparently. Was that? I don't remember. Work with mentors. Wait. Yeah, so go over mentor list. Okay, cool. And the mentors list, it's almost a full list. Update everybody. Excellent. So going over the mentors, what did I do? There you go. Just, okay, cool. Go over the mentors. So before going over the mentor list, a couple of notes on how to work with them. If you've done so, but it's a nice mentor list. I think there's only one person in the room who's very senior or relatively senior in the ecosystem who's worked with a couple of these people or the sorts. So one thing that you need to remember is that you can take their contact and talk to them later. Okay, during the frame of the 3DS, try to make the most of the work towards the idea you're working on. the attention span of the mentor in order to network with them. I don't think they'll be happy to do so because they are coming to work with the teams on the ideas and not to chit chat too much with everybody. They do it happily as well. But I think the most important thing to note during the event, he makes the mistake at the end in any case. Split the work. Team of 5. If you're a team of 5, don't let the whole team of 5 people sit down and listen to the mentor. It's a waste of time. And time is the most valuable asset you have as a team, especially if you work in a startup. That's for one. The second thing, it would be better to have 1 or 2 people talk to him and then being challenged by the group. I think it will be a more productive way to proceed and assess the ideas rather than being preached by somebody you at this stage see as the God Almighty. Know the solutions to whatever idea you're working on. They may have heard a lot of ideas similar to what you're going to be working on, maybe not. But in any case, they've not done it, and they don't know everything. Everything with a grain of salt, and remember that. So quickly going through the list, Ranan Gvirsman used to be the CEO of Broadlight, which is a semiconductor company that was sold for 200 million or so. And he's an angel investor now, meaning he puts money into exchange for percentages in them. Karen Rubin, she used to be my colleague until a month ago, and she's seen tons of startups. She heads the people's operation in a startup named Augury. I don't know him, so you'll see how he is. There's a sense of a product approach to whatever you're gonna talk about. And that a product approach is very important. At your stage, it's much more important than a technological approach. What that means that you can get information from him on how to quantify your users, how to do some surveys, how to get insights to whatever you want to talk about, the way people are supposed to use and how to define your product. Adi Azaria, I don't know if you've seen him. He was here at a meetup. He's one of the co-founders of Sisense, which is a big data startup. Gives tools to companies to analyze their data. They've raised about 50, and I think he also invests as an angel investor. He's the attorney. Maybe I'll send you later who comes when. He's coming on the second day. So he comes from the Pearl Coin Tzedek, lots of law firm. Ecosystem of the startups now, or more, so the legal acquire except for IP. IP is patents, trademarks, know-hows, and a bunch of things, but usually when people say IP, they mean patents. Medan, who is a lecturer here as well, he's used to be the VP or something like of Insightec, VP R&D of Insightec, which is a medical startup in Matam. And now he's the CTO of a company, of a startup named Nini Speech that helps people with stuttering disabilities to overcome them. Riyad and Ofer come from a VC, a private VC called Kaidan Capital. Usually do, in many cases, consumer ad tech, online solutions, but they also do gaming. So they called Playtika, that was sold to a casino in the US, and also in something called jelly button that produces a platform game that makes tons of money. Again, you can go on kdan.com and see their portfolio. Stephanie Cherin, she's heading the seed investment vehicle of Deutsche Telekom. Seed investment means it's the early stage, not the early stage like you are at. And they invest about 300 company doing marketing in another VC. Dr. Sharon Tal, she used to manage the Bionic Entrepreneurship Center here at the Technion, and she also developed a tool, technology strategy, in case you have a technology, map your different opportunities that you should be considering and should be on your radar. As well. Ifat Peled, she was the participant in the first 3DS company, regardless of the idea that she pursued in the 3DS, raised some money. And it's CA, Roy Cheshbon. Her startup is Sticky Stickers. It's called Finance. It's a consumer. Totally different from whatever she's done. And she's been eating all the crap that you imagine. Very insightful in things that you should be overlooking, should be looking into and stuff like that. Tons of experience with startups. COO means he's doing tons of doesn't like to do. And basically anything. Now he's in a ad network. Before that, he was in a gaming. A very insightful person as well. In content marketing, who used to be brothers. In this case, it's gonna before each session begins, they're gonna be lined up on the stage and give a brief, and then they're gonna come and sit down with the different teams, and I'm gonna push them around every 30 minutes or so to move to the next team.
You have one mentor on each participant.
No. They're going to be spread. You have about 4 or 5 in each batch. So it's very important for me to make sure that and in real investors throughout this journey. So first of all, the first reason is for you to take this seriously, to understand that this is a real platform with a real opportunity. The reason is that there is a very, very good chance that you're not going to come out of this with a startup at hand, something down the road. This is a network, okay? And you're supposed to stay in touch and take the contact details of each and every mentor, and I'll give the instructions on in a second after I'll present the panelists. For the panel, we have Ayal Bar David, who was the CEO of Qualcomm Israel for many years and has retired recently. He grew the site from 10 people to 200 or more, 400 at its peak. Partner at Plus Ventures, which is, they have 3 investment vehicles and they invest in mostly software-oriented, almost any vertical. Works at a VC that's called Rhodium, an early stage VC that has been very successful as well. One of their recent famous investments was Face.com that was acquired by Facebook. It was the second company Facebook bought here. The CEO of Samurai House, which is another early stage here in Israel. They usually do about $100,000 investments. It means that you're gonna, like, if you finish the 3DS and you feel very good with your energy and everything, and you're optimistic about it, if you'll keep on working for 3 months, let's say, seriously on the venture, you might be relevant to raise something of that region of 100,000. So what do you do with the mentors? And yeah, over just before, what do you do with the mentors? But another thing about the expectations: don't expect to raise money at the end of the 2.5 days. Okay, you're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. It just doesn't. But if you work hard enough, within a year time, you'll be eligible for an investment. How long it takes? It's a 1 year long process, between 6 months and 12 hard work. Can be even longer, but then I assume most of you will break. So what do you do with the mentors? After the event, I'll send you all the emails of all the mentors. Thank you, it was very nice knowing you, blah, blah, blah. Preferably you will put something who's personal, of an insight they've given you or whatnot, and then I'll be happy to stay in touch with you in the future. Now, they don't need to answer you back, but in 2, 3, 4 years' time, when you're looking for a job or you're looking for an investment, you'll just do a reply over the, okay, he was a participant of the 3DS, so they will be more inclined to answer you in the first place. Usually, these people are very nice and they will be happy to help you as well, because their experience so far from 3DSs was very good, and they know that very good quality people go through the process. So I think that's that about the mentors. Any questions? Wait, yes. No. Yeah, guide. And Daphne is not, though she's here. A lawyer, and there's enough for IP consultations. Okay, for patents. It's very good. Yeah.
So it's sector related, so is there any participants?
A second. Designers, for unfortunately none.
In anything that is not
No. So all the participants, you'll hear in a second. We're gonna do the in a second. For this batch, it's mostly zeros and ones or molecules, except for the background of the guys from the MBA, which is much more diverse. That's what you have now. Yeah, I was usually I make sure that they're designed asleep. In this one. So it's up to you. I will not let one person team to present on Friday. 2-8 to 10. You live with.
Like the average is like 3, 4, 5.
You need to live with the crap you're. So if you're gonna be a team of 8 or 9, coordinate the workforce. If you think it's gonna be perfect, good luck. I think it will not be, but it's up. It's a natural process. Once I declare which were the 8 best ranked ideas, who to hook up with. And yeah, I won't say anything during the workshop. Logistics. So you're gonna get food, then food over there. 3 days. You're gonna get crappy food. Please don't complaining. That's the food you're gonna get. If you wanna upgrade cafeteria and upgrade, all the food is kosher. We're gonna send the links to pick the lunch cafeteria, which is the physics one. It's nachon? Yeah. So it's a veggie lunch meal, leggy but fulfilling. So you're supposed to be until in the evening you're gonna get pizzas. Same for Thursday evening, and lunch for Thursday is gonna be of the same variety. And in between, you're gonna have some fruits, mostly waffles. Ma? And caffeine. Michal, MBA staff is of the around too lazy, and she's helping a lot. So complaints about the food, come to me, and I'll relate. But don't come to her with complaints. Please come with short clothes. It's gonna be super hot. We're gonna be 40 plus people or 40 people in a room where the AC is probably Windows is not an option during all the during some parts of the day. That make sure it's very embarrassing to talk about it, but we face Wednesday and Thursday, and the same before Friday. Also, to be shrink count that we'll bring, but one before we talk to people. Again, I'll do the same. We're all people. Wear deodorants, and if you have a problem, then I'm not sure whether it'd be a bit to bring, especially whoever's at some point, bring some sweater or something like that. That's that. Fix cars. There's not much that I can do with the permits and whatnot. So requests personally tell you that there's not much. See, there are not too many. Name tags are especially important for the first 2 days because the mentors would like to see what your names are. I need to check in the office if we still have enough, but tags with I'll do for mentors. Blue will be for participants, and please give them back at the end of the 3DS. You're gonna have to stick your name on yourself, and then for mentors, we'll just mark them with a red dot or something like that to differentiate them, so you can understand if somebody is talking to your group already or not. If I missed anything on logistics. Yeah, bring your own computers, chargers, your ability. It will be nice for you to. It's an open space, so don't put loud music. And again, something I told you during the interviews, for you guys to work on the idea of 3DS, not to split off and go work for some, I don't know, whatever you need to just send an email or whatnot. This was the contract between us, and this is the expectation. To a pain point. Last time was, which is yes. For doing that, just when you're presenting in your face, it means that the people behind you can see the slide. Okay, so move aside. So who owns the idea? So my take on this, we'll start with that. This is an honorary contract. I do not intend to sign you. I don't have the capacity for that, and I don't want to sue anybody afterwards, and I don't have the money to do so. My life in general, and to this specifically, is that although it will seem like you've done tons of work, which means whoever brought the idea to the table is sort of the owner of the idea. Ownership of an idea does not mean anything. At the end of the day, it's execution. So what's going to happen after the 3 days is when there might be some arguing, and then if you see that you need to force a team to accept you and or to work with you, or that you need to deal with the person in order to go forward, I'd argue that that would be a very good point in time to say thank you very much and go look for the next better. Because if when you're 2, 3, or even 4 people and you argue and you don't get along perfectly, things are only gonna get worse when you're gonna grow the. And so, I would say like it's gonna be a bad feeling. It's gonna suck to go through it at this stage. Then after you've raised money for equity and then discover that you don't really want to see the person next to you. So that's one thing. To ask you, I'll send it over email so it will be written for the idea, so we can have people promote their innermost ideas. So most of you are first-time entrepreneurs, or almost all of you, and you're pretty protective of whatever idea you have if you think it's the one idea. And I do want you to work on the one idea because I do think it's a good platform to start the venture. So be conscious about the sensitivity of whoever is pitching an idea. Like, feel that you've heard the idea that you want to pursue for the rest of your life. But it's not with the person who proposed it. Go get their permission. If you don't, then you to pass on and go find another idea that you're going to be passionate about, because again, it's execution, it's not the idea. And we'll resolve anything that comes into play during the time that it comes. In the last 3DS, a team has proposed an idea, pitched it on stage and stuff like that, and another participant was going around other 3DSs trying to raise idea, not maliciously or anything. She just thought the idea was nice and that he could more work and help the other team on pursuing the idea. But it still stirred some problems for me. Anybody knows what an NDA is? Okay, so there's a non-disclosure agreement. Don't expect anybody to sign one here. I would consult all of you not to sign one in this 3-day startup. It's a legally binding document, basically. We've had in one session somebody come with an idea he worked on for at least more than a semester, and he, before talk, half of the workshop was trying to tell everybody that if they want to listen to hear the idea, which was more than an idea, I did put into it a lot of work, they need to sign an NDA. Although the mentors didn't need to, because it was obvious that they would give him. And so we ended up not getting much from the workshop. He has any idea that they feel they need to overly protect, or not overly means that I don't agree with you, but anybody has an idea that they feel really protective of, and lay the sound system, they would propose it in front of everybody? Was the question clear enough? You do? Okay, so I'll finish with the following, and I'll be happy to listen to a specific question later, and we can see if it's relevant or not. But what I do with like, if you'll see, and if you'll have anything that is patentable or anything, first of all, you don't need to talk about the core technology or whatever to present. And you can present ways without what they do in the back end with their algorithms, and same goes for robotics who are doing open surgeries on the back. That's one, and the other one is that if you will come to have something that will be the base for a future patent, as far as I know, I'm not a lawyer, but I do put a lot of asterisks now. Consider the closed group and containable one. It's not public information, so you will be able to issue a patent as far as I know.
Once you said that.
What?
Once you said that.
Okay. What you wanted to talk
Once
about?
if you tell
No, but
people-
that was the question, or you still want to, you still
Yeah,
have
that's
an
fine.
issue?
And once you tell people,
Okay,
you verbally tell people don't talk
No,
about
I'm gonna send it as well over the email. Any questions after being so morbid?
Can you please give an example of good ideas that came up here?
All the ideas were good. So first of all, I don't judge ideas. I will really try not to judge too many, and I'm too cynical. Good ideas. One idea that asked me not to talk about them, the ones who are going to raise. So there was an idea of a team that started with a meeting room. 3 PhD guys from CS. They wanted to scan people and allow them to visualize the clothing while experiencing the online shopping. On it for a year after the 3DS, they shifted something else. But the idea essentially was good. The business was very tough. The idea is the last time's winner is blue. Device a distress bracelet for divers and signal the partner underwater. You want more?
Yeah.
Yes.
Simply like the second one, because the first one is the second one I can do it by myself. So do you have any other examples?
Is
Like
the second one easy for you to implement?
It doesn't
Good.
require
No, but your statement is very relative. First one is very easy for me to implement.
The thing is that it is much more global than like a virtual fitting room.
Another idea from the last time was a sock that will prevent spraying in the food.
What?
What do you have more, divers or women shopping?
Women dive.
Women shopping.
It doesn't matter. Wait.
Much more fitting rooms than divers.
Wait. It's not it's not how difficult it is technological to implement. There are so many other aspects and barriers that you can have. So for you, one is easy and one is not. Even the easy is not easy to implement. There's much more than the technology and actually doing the product. You'll see for the 3DS. It doesn't really matter. There were really nice ideas that you'll hear on Wednesday. And again, it doesn't matter whether there was a good idea. Google was a good idea. I would never have selected it.
It's something implementable.
It's implementable.
Most of us are not PhDs.
Everything, postdoc, PhD, postdoc, everything is implementable. Yeah, so some statistics about who you guys are. I have it here actually. Yeah, and then we finish. That's it. Oh, no, I don't have it here.
Can we get a pizza today also?
No, I'm hungry as well, but no, we have pretzels. 18 undergraduate students, and the rest are graduate students, including MBAs, masters, PhDs, and postdocs from aeronautics, CS, biology, or what's the biology, all sorts. So no design, unfortunately, but enough of diversity in terms of backgrounds. Not everybody is a programmer. And you have neuroscience, right? You have everything. More than you need. Sababa. So what we'll do now is through, and you'll come to the stage quickly. Introduce yourselves in a very brief manner, meaning 15, 20 seconds in English. A bit easier for you guys to remember each other and for us to listen to you is give like brief, I don't know, what's your strongest qualities that you bring to the table, 1 or 2, no more. And also a fun fact to remember you by. We'll start giving you some beer so your tongues will be loose. And then basically we're done with the info session unless there are more questions about the... Perfect. So, yes. Sorry.
Traditionally, people present demos in the end of the day.
No. The deliverable is a PPT. There was demos never showed it. Really ridiculous at the end of 3 days. That and presentations are much more impressive. Cool. So who wants to start? I'll start. Sorry. You have a question? Yeah, I asked the question. You're right. So I'm EE graduate, and I know tons of ideas at everyone I try. And fun fact, we don't sleep sometimes, but that's not fun. No, it's fun fact. Right. So I'll help you guys now.
Fun fact is you're sleeping here for the
No,
next 2
next.
years.
Who's coming?
Stay to the stage or to the...
Yes, so
Can we get
you prefer to twist your necks?
My name is Yulia. Genetic engineering, and I also lead the software development. Some characteristics initiative. I'm quite a good lecturer. Something funny about me.
Please. Unless you want to figure it in 9.
All right, so my name is Vlad. I'm from biotech and food engineering, so I like computer science. My grade is commodities, my versatility. From different faculties, I'm not sure what I want to graduate.
Okay.
I'm Amir. I study here in industrial engineering. I'm pretty funny. That's what's fun about me. And I like to work hard. So.
Hi, I'm Myron. I'm from Chicago. I have a degree in industrial technology and I'm currently in an international MBA program with a startup that we won't be talking about during this program. I'm a main experience.
What's the name?
Big MBA.
Masters in
Yes. Yeah, next. You're not doing it by order.
Okay, I'm Ali. I'm from America. I speak Hebrew, kind of. I'm studying Madem Akshev here. I can work like a job, like really accurately.
Don't do it.
I'll do it later. At the end, I promise. Someone?
I'm learning mechanical engineering, especially in robotics. Finished this year. That's it.
I'm from electrical engineering. It's very nice to meet you guys. I think my greatest quality is that I have a lot of passion and I can organize my time very well. Fun fact about me is that Gadi is my boyfriend's sister. My sister.
My friend says. Gadi has a nice house.
Sister's boyfriend.
Okay, next.
My name is Josh. I'm a PhD in aerospace engineering, analyst and an officer in the army. I stay there. A funny fact about me: I hated, I thought I hate the sun, but I hate the salt. So when I was young, I didn't go to the sea for the wrong reasons.
My name is Ron here. I study electrical engineering. Currently part-time business developer. Startups and investors and connect between them. See, this is a nice list of mentors, but I will be the closest to you. A fun fact, I find really fun jokes to get to hear later.
Okay. I study computer science. I have a bachelor's last year, and I also have a bachelor's in music. That's a fun fact that you can find with me.
From Julian.
Actually, yeah. Yeah. Wow. So I also like to study. I like to research, and if you have ideas, we'll work on that.
Hi, I'm Roy. I have a first degree in electrical engineering and physics, and a second degree in physics. I'm working on I'm good at problem solving and learning. In fact, I'm a very big dreamer. Dreamer. I don't dream.
That's too bad.
Okay, hi, my name is Roxanne. I'm a student from aerospace engineering, and in the future I want to combine entrepreneurship with my studies in aerospace engineering, and
She was representing the Technion at Switzerland hackathon.
Oh, nice.
My name is Igor. I'm from the civil engineering department. My strong quality, I think I have different aspects in different fields, the background in different fields, and I love to see solutions from my point of view, try to implement it in this 30 years session.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Sion. I'm a computer science and physics graduate here. I bring with me, besides 5 rooms, that you won't be 3 years, bring with me a bit of experience, personal experience in ventures and.
Hi, I'm Iván. I'm actually an engineering student. Strong quality, I'm a hands-on person. I like to make things happen. About me, since I was 6 years old, every Oscar night, I stay all night.
Hi, my name is Tal Golan. I'm third year computer engineering student. In fact, I don't lose bets, and I don't like soccer, but Euro on this Euro with my friends. Websites for Russians and bet according to this. I will
Hi, my name is Yuval, and I study computer 4th year. Strong, something I like to study stuff from scratch. I had a birthday on Saturday.
Hi, I'm Dal. I study computer engineering. This is my last semester. I like to scuba dive, and I once even got the chance to dive with a whale shark, which was very good.
I'm Ori. I'm studying neuroscience. PhD, and I'm engineering. I wish to have a fun with someone something. Yeah, most of it. And then fun I was going in the sea with the stuff.
Hi, I'm Lior. I'm a third-year mechanical engineering student. I bring experience from several projects I worked on in the field of electronics. That's about me for the past 3 years. I've been mostly studying. So, yeah.
I'm here. Okay. And I have 3 beautiful children. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Also. So we have to user experience expert. And yes.
I'm Jan. I study computer science in Technion. Currently, I work as a firmware engineer, so I have experience with both high and low languages. I'm very easy to work with. That's it.
Hey, my name is Daoud. I'm an engineer. I finished last year. I'm a motivated person. And fun fact that
That's it. I'm a materials engineering and chemistry graduate. Currently, I'm doing my PhD degree in the field of organic solar cells. It's about me that I have a scientific background and I'm very handyman. I like working with assembling stuff. In fact, I have already managed to blow chemical reaction.
Is it nuclear?
No.
Hi, I'm Ori. Fun fact, I came back from the Philippines.
I am Paul, and I have one aerospace startup.
Hey, I am Daniel Adas. Study in engineering faculty, in mechanical engineering faculty. I experiment with 3D modeling. How do
I am
you
I'm doing my master in computer science. And
Shoot.
still catching my breath.
You're not the last one.
I'm Anna. I am a biochemical engineering graduate. Now I'm doing my second degree in biomedical engineering. I have different experience basically from the material science world. And I'll let you know about something.
I have a computer science degree from the Technion, and then I worked for a couple of years at Google, and then I did my master's in the US. Now I'm doing an MBA in Tel Aviv by the Technion with minor and operation. Software engineering and
Anybody?
We lost a fun class in general.
Yeah, don't worry. I can embarrass the majority of you, but I don't do it. Did we miss anybody? First of all, there's more free beer. You can consume more. It's been paid for, so you can consume more. And that's it. Now the idea is for you guys to with each other and get to know each other, and you can do it in Hebrew if you talk to a person who speaks Hebrew. יאללה, זהו. הכל בסדר.